Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to Cyberpunk Team 2 today. Before I go ahead and update everybody on what happened with this particular crew, we did not play last week, so it's going to be,
It doesn't. Oh, there you
yeah, just fucking chill. I know what I'm doing. I've been doing it for a little while now, Thoria.
You still fuck it up. You still find a way to fuck things up, though.
I at least know what go live means and how to do that. I at least know how to go live.
Amazing.
So, before I go ahead and explain what happened a couple weeks ago, catch everybody up on this sort of thing. Gonna have everybody do themselves a nice little introduction. God, shut up with this bullshit.
Yeah.
Heresy, introduce yourself, please.
We're already starting off on all cylinders.
Yeah, piss off the game master. What a great way to kick it off.
Oh, I am Heresy. I play Dragon Pillar.
Dragon Pillar, a solo, who's looking to make it
after
yeah. I'm just Dragon Pillar. Just I shoot people. I shoot people, kill things.
Already got 3 on my tally board.
Boom, boom, bam, bam.
Last session, I killed an exec son with a 40 millimeter.
Yeah.
Launcher.
Homie.
I'm homie. I played Don Bruce, the man with apparently the most tragic backstory, but most calm, comprehensive demeanor.
He's got the picture for a calm, comprehensive demeanor. It looks good. Santana.
Hi, I'm Santana, and I'm playing Detective Santos, who has changed yet again his appearance.
He
I
ran
am
into
playing
the
a
frost.
police officer with serious panic attacks.
he's he's got a much prettier look now.
Yes.
I like it. Thorium. He's good.
Hello, I'm Thorium. I'm playing Nova Pop, and my pizza's here.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
I figured.
Netrunner, Netrunner, you get the idea.
Okay. This is fantastic, by the way. I love these intros. Just absolute chaos already.
You can thank Thorium for that.
And finally, Young.
Hey, I'm Young. I play K9. I'm a nomad and I race the police for fun.
Thank you.
For fun police racing. Love it. So, last time, everybody was kind of doing their own thing for a little bit, which resulted in a bit of chaos, because one of those things was doing a little bit of investigation on the ruins that exist outside of Night City itself, some of the old buildings that are still more or less completely devastated by the nuclear attack that got set off about 50 years ago. That would have been Dragon Pillar himself specifically. And in the process of this, a few joy riders made their way out to the same area, which pissed off the local nomads, that being K9's particular clan. So K9 was sent to go investigate and see what was going on. And upon trying to negotiate with all of the various different joy riders to maybe, leave, go elsewhere, not be in that area, they tried to aim a trunk-mounted machine gun in his direction, which then resulted in Dragon launching a grenade directly into the cab of their truck, which then blew both the driver, the passenger, and the person standing on top of the truck up. After that...
Fuck Ronan, they
After that...
Things happened.
After that, Dragon had come down to investigate if there was anything worth salvaging from the situation, and it seemed that the guy on top of the truck, anyway, was still more or less intact. And he decided to harvest his cyber hand, as well as attempt to harvest his cyber eye, but that wasn't a possibility. So he figured, screw it, I'll take his whole body into town, find a ripper dock nearby, and see if I can't get a little bit of a profit off of this. Asked K9 to help, since he went ahead and saved his life from these 3 opening fire on him. And K9 agreed. In the meantime, one of the people, specifically the person who had been trying to fire off the machine gun itself, was apparently the son of a Mitsubishi exec, which was being investigated by Detective Santos. Santos was in the midst of investigating when the car that K9 was driving came in, and one of the pieces of cyberware on the VIP, so to speak, began to blip in accordance to the equipment that Santos was given. So Santos started a high-level police chase and chased them all throughout Night City, which created a nice little event for the news cycle. During this particular chase, the body got thrown out of the trunk, as well as the Cyberhand itself, so that they didn't have anything to track. And eventually, K9 and Dragon were able to get away. In the B plot of this, Nova Pop is a hacker who had been approached by a person who works for an organization he used to work with closely, that being the Voodoo Boys. Apparently, this person had come across something interesting in the net as of recent, or at the very least in some equipment that was being sent to the various different corporations that work in Corpo Plaza. He wanted somebody outside of the organization to take a look at it and investigate it and see what it's all about, because it's something that confused him. It was a computer program that started asking him some very odd esoteric questions, and he wanted to know exactly what it was all about. And so Nova Pop, after having had his workday, as well as having participated slightly in the chase by utilizing Netwatch's helicopter to take a look at the whole thing, he met up with the Voodoo Boys, specifically Big Boy, or rather Big Man, to discuss the job in more detail. Big Man explained to him that if he's going to be looking into this, then he's probably going to need to get into one of the corporate buildings that is utilizing the new equipment that this program seems to be embedded into. Novapop then theorized that this might be a supply chain attack of some sort, and it would be a good idea to try and figure out exactly what is being tracked and why, for whose benefit, all these sorts of things. All of this could be valuable information if gathered correctly. But it's going to require a little bit of a team to do something on this particular level, especially if he's going to be infiltrating an actual corporate HQ of any sort. So he was sent to meet with a contact named Julian, a fixer that lives near the bottom of Haywood. Also, Don Bruce had recently been promoted at his particular job, which gave him a personal driver that seems to have a decent bit of connection within the city itself. A little bit of an older fellow. He claims to be an ex-nomad who has decided to retire from that particular life in order to have a little bit more of a cushy life working for the corporates. Don was interested in finding out more information on how to advance himself and his own personal interests. And in the process, Ryder, the driver in question, suggested that he go to meet with a fixer that he had been familiar with, one which was responsible for getting him his new life, that being the same fixer that Novapop was going to meet with, Julian. The two had managed to get to Julian's little mansion in a staggered fashion, having met what appears to be some sort of constructed battle maid of sorts that had met the both of them and escorted them inside. And they had a little bit of a conversation with him. And Julian explained that it might be a decent idea to hire a team of a getaway driver, B, a security for in case things go badly, C, somebody on the inside who can either create a distraction or an allowance or something for you guys, and also, of course, the two people themselves in order to potentially complete this particular job. They did a little bit of a search, and considering the absolute chaos that happened during the day, Julian suggested that the Nomad, K9, and the Solo, who were responsible for the chaos, might be a decent team to bring on this particular mission, especially since it seems like they already worked together before. And Detective Santos, who was a part of the drive itself, is probably going to be in a little bit of a rough situation and could probably use some help in clearing up his reputation and making him not seem like he's incompetent for having lost a Nomad in the midst of a chase. And he might be a useful tool if they can find some way to convince him to keep the police from answering any particular calls concerning the area, as well as potentially make himself known as a part of the security there, so that he can essentially tell everybody that nothing is happening and to ignore any calls. Having a lawman on your side is a very, very good way to ensure that you're not going to get interrupted by unnecessary NCPD forces. So, with that being the case, K9, you have driven Dragon Pillar out of the city and closer to where your clan is currently camped up, because you want to lay low for a little bit before escorting him to where he actually lives. Especially with the city on more or less high alert at the moment. So, describe to me what your clan's setup looks like.
Okay, it's a rather small camp. My clan is rather small. They lost a lot of people back in the fights around some corporations. So it's basically like four big words. What is it called?
Tent?
No, like. Oh man. A bit of blackout. Like the
Convoy?
big. Yeah, like this, like. I have to Google this.
Is it caravan you're looking for?
Like campers. I mean campers. And probably some, like a dozen smaller cars stacked in a circle.
Okay.
With a big campfire in the middle, some smalls on the outskirts.
Dragon, you are being escorted into this encampment. And you can see the roaring bonfire in the center of the encampment, kind of symbolizing the sort of peace and quiet that one can experience when they live out in the open like this. You see that there is a decent amount of food being sort of roasted over top of the campfire itself. All this stuff, probably some wild animals that are found out in the wild here, which is definitely a step up from most of the soy products that people default to back in the city. Though definitely very primitively made by comparison. The trade-off, of course, of nomadic life becoming very obvious as you exit the high-tech areas of Night City and into the more or less pre-2020 ages of a nomadic encampment. That being said, some of the cars here are themselves pretty high-tech. still keeping up with all of the new advancements that are made. It's very important for the nomads to keep their rides as updated as possible, so as to not have to worry about being overtaken by high-tech nonsense from either the police or various different gangers that might exist within the city and outside the city, raiders, pirates, things like that. Very important that they keep a nice tight leash on their own rides. All of them being sort of individually tricked out in such a way that indicates sort of like a personalization on each of the cars. Almost like a signature of sorts. As you guys arrive at Camp K9, you find yourself being greeted by one of the older members of the camp, the man who sent you out in the first place. This particular fellow kind of looks to you with a bit of a confused look when he sees that you have a passenger in your car. He kind of brings up a cigar and chomps down on it for a moment, gives it a little bit of a puff before thinking about what he's going to be saying as you pull up and park near the camp. K9, who the hell is this?
That's a rather long story. Let's just say, so, I was out scouting these young fellas that disturbed our peace, and they tried to kill me, like they do. And so this guy here, he saved my life. He just blew them up, and as and thank you, I offered him to bring him into the city, which got a bit messy, if you want to say so. So I decided it would be best to keep our heads low and bring him to the camp for the night, or for some time, and then we head back to the city.
Looks over in Dragon's direction. And what exactly is your story there, young buck?
Not much of a story to tell.
Everybody's got a story to tell.
Just wandering the west, looking for salvage.
Yeah, he's not a big talker.
Well, the rest get a little bit cagey around new folks, so I wouldn't really suggest keeping him around for too terribly long.
Nah. I just figured it would be best to keep an eye on him and make sure that he leaves our territory somehow.
Well, I guess I'll let the others know that we'll have another for dinner tonight. How long do you think you'll plan on staying?
I'm not sure if it's a good idea to go back into the city today. We've made a pretty big scene there. So I would suggest we stay the night and drive at dawn.
You're probably going to want to use a different car, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where exactly does he live?
I'm not sure if he lives like anywhere. He just wanted me to bring him into the city.
I know the guy doesn't talk that much, but at least he can speak for himself on where the fuck he lives, I think. Come on, you're not mute.
I don't remember.
The fuck do you mean you don't remember where you live?
That's his entire response.
Well, then where the hell is he going to be taking you when he actually brings you back into the city?
Where in the city would I find jobs for solos?
Jobs for solos can be found just about anywhere. It just kind of depends on the type of work that you're doing. If you'd like to do some bodyguard work, easy security work, extra security work for various things. You can also, if you prefer not to work for other people and kind of do your own thing, you can take the really risky method, go into the combat zone, see if you can't bait some people into attacking you, and then kill them and take their shit and resell it. That's pretty risky, though, because chances are good you could piss off a lot of different types of gangs doing that sort of a thing, and if you start making yourself a problem for various types of people, then they can start getting organized and decide you need to die. So, not exactly a long-term solution.
Sounds like a heresy thing to do.
It really does. I would respond, I guess, probably bodyguard work. Probably a bar or something.
Okay. Well, if I remember correctly, the closest bar, at least to the entrance of the city from Santo Domingo's, I think northeast of Arroyo, the Red Dirt Bar. Pretty sure. That being the case, you shouldn't have to drive anywhere terribly dangerous. Arroyo is kind of more or less handled by the 6th Street gang around those parts, but they tend to keep to themselves more or less, just provide security for the area. Drugs and stuff too, but I don't think either of you are into that sort of thing.
Nah. I like to stay focused.
Okay. Well, in that case, you guys can feel free to mellow out here, at least for a little while. How do you feel about, let's call it, roadkill meat there, Jumba? That is aimed at you, Heresy.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
realize that.
I think he's still out of it.
I'm trying to fucking make a portrait right now.
Ah.
It's better than the synth crap they sell at in Night City. Something that's not human.
Something happened?
I I suppose we'll just leave it at you guys deciding to retire there for the evening. Both of you will be provided a place in one of the campers to bed down. It is a little bit crowded here, so Dragon, you'll find that you're going to be unless you prefer to spend your nights outside, which is not a terribly wise idea out here in the wastes, considering how much dust storms can end up kicking themselves up pretty regularly. You'll be cramped up with probably a good half a dozen or so nomads, probably including K9 and one of the campers.
I'm going to pick a car for tomorrow. A nice, like probably a cleanest car, probably like a rather basic muscle car or something, nothing too suspicious, something that fits into the city, and then I would just sleep in the car.
Okay.
I would just prop my tent on the backside of his car. Using the car for wind protection, of course.
You have a tent?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you do. Okay.
Oh shit! I said he has everything.
He's a solo. He by himself.
Okay.
Just won't find me using it in the city.
So you guys are going to be spending the night there. Mr. Santos, I am curious. After your chase went awry, how did you deal with the fallout of that?
He is probably thinking to himself as he went back to the station, it couldn't have been so bad. Like they are criminals, they specialize on that. That was completely above my pay grade to chase them. I mean, we're in association. And he's in that circle thought, yeah, when I get back, this is not going to escalate that bigly. Of course, he's absolutely wrong, but
Once you get back to the station, Sergeant Waters kind of comes out of his office for a bit and says, Santos! Then crooks a big finger towards you and starts like motioning for you to come to his office.
okay, what's totally wrong. And he kind of walks there. And the moment he gets into his office, may I explain?
You're gonna shit right the fuck down is what you're gonna do, and you're gonna listen to what I have to fucking tell you. That's what you're gonna do.
He appreciates the fact that he has a job, so he's gonna sit down.
All right, I don't know exactly what it is that you were trying to do today, but you got us in a whole heaping hell of a lot of shit. Not only do we not know yet who is responsible for having actually offed the VIP in question, so we're in trouble for that. But now we have another issue. Apparently, some of the folks in Arroyo are getting all pissed off. Sometimes people end up getting abducted or go missing, or a dead body gets found and things like that over in Arroyo. Now, we don't have the resources to track down literally every single victimized person in this city. We are outnumbered 1,000 to 1. And it almost feels like every other person is a criminal of some sort. So we don't have that sort of stuff. So we prioritize. Well, the people of Arroyo don't really like that all that much. They think we should be focusing equally on everybody, which is just an impossibility. So, the fact that we tracked down killers of somebody who was somewhat important so very quickly kind of pisses them off a bit. Makes them feel like we don't care about them. Which we do, we just have to prioritize. That's the problem. So they're going to be pretty pissed off for the next while. And considering that you fumbled the actual bag on this one and didn't end up managing to catch either of the parties responsible, I am going to be assigning you to foot patrol in Arroyo to do a little bit of, let's call it public relations.
Here's a confused expression first. Like it shows when he says we do care about them. He's like, we do? Huh?
I mean, insofar as, at least some of them pay taxes.
True. Great. I accept the punishment.
Now, listen. There's going to be a lot of people giving you the stink eye. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to be looking at you with a lot of suspicion. And there's going to be a lot of people who might try to pick a fight. You stay calm. Don't start panicking. And don't start calling for backup. The last thing we need is good old-fashioned SWAT team making their way into Arroyo and making things even worse, okay?
Okay, no panic attacks. No asking for backup, just quiet and calm patrolling.
If you see something bad, go ahead and just note it down and move on. You don't have to be in the shit all the time.
No chasing criminals regardless of what my gut instinct says.
Now, if it's something small, like, let's say someone snatches something from someone else, and you find yourself in a position to stop them, sure, an easy bag, easy bit of a show of sympathy, I guess. Small things like that, if you think you can handle it, you can feel free to do. But if it's any sort of gang activity, or if it's anything that's organized in any way, I need you to keep yourself nice and low and keep your nose down. You understand?
I have only one question. Let's say, hypothetically, one criminal takes the bag of a granny, and he decides that this is not big, and I chase him. I chase him. We get to an alley, and he pulls out a gun on me. Hypothetically, should I shoot him, or what should I do in that situation?
Honestly,
let's say that
if he's running from you and he won't stop, you can feel free to shoot him while you're running.
Great. That's good news. Thanks.
If a criminal's a criminal, they're not going to be. Nobody's going to spill any tears over a purse snatcher. It's just not a big deal. Kill him, disable him, I guess, if you'd prefer. But stopping him is the main thing. If it requires you to get your gun out, feel free to go nuts. Just don't check your fucking shots. Last thing we need is you missing and hitting somebody else.
Okay. Aim my shots, not kill civilians, kill individual criminals. I don't get in trouble for that. And if it's bigger, fill a report. Great.
You think you can handle that?
I feel I can handle that.
You're not going to start calling us and saying to put up a whole bunch of barriers and call a SWAT team in and all that other bullshit.
No. I will not ask for SWAT support on a purse snatcher.
Good.
Well, that'd be a hell of a bad day for that first snatcher.
Now I've got some reports of some rumblings of some people who are pretty pissed off. During the day, I need you to do a secondary thing. Outside of doing a bit of PR work, doing a bit of foot patrol and shit like that, keep an eye on, I'd say, the northeastern part of Arroyo. Apparently, there's the possibility that they might organize a demonstration of some sorts. Now, I'm not saying to stop it in any way, because that might end up just causing more issues. But if you find out more information on whether or not they're going to be doing an actual demonstration or where it's going to be organized exactly, then do report that in so that we can act in accordance to that.
Seems reasonable.
As it is, I'm going to go ahead and give you the rest of the night off so that you can prepare for foot patrol tomorrow. And if you find some way to fuck this very simple job up, I swear to God I will have your badge.
Sir, I won't go back to unemployment. I will not.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Am I dismissed?
You're dismissed.
He gets up. He walks out of the door. It went out pretty well. Reasonable. He,
It hit
I
me.
mean, my payment. Yeah.
So, here's a question. What's your living situation looking like?
The police has been giving him like a reasonable salary, so he probably lives in a small apartment, and he has a pretty average condition for the citizens of Night City.
Okay.
A little apartment, a little personal car.
Probably an apartment in a cube hotel, I'd say. Something like that. So definitely not something which is high up or luxurious in any fashion. It's definitely more on the plain side of things. Yeah, you make your way back to your place, which is probably somewhere in the sort of like, we'll say, kind of down here in the midst of Rancho Coronado here. And, you know, you make your way back to your apartment. It's a small thing. Most of the furniture is something that you can fold in and out in order to like create various bits of room for yourself to maneuver. And you find yourself able to relax for the evening. Is there anything that kind of weighs heavy on you as you retire for the night?
His motivation was to help people not be afraid of the streets. He wants to try to make the city better. And in that attempt, he became overzealous. He thinks of himself as an idiot right now. But he still finds it weird. He still thinks that trying to get them was worth it. He has this real weird mix of insecurity being pushed in, but still feeling that it was worth it, even if he had failed.
Okay. You can kind of reflect on your position as a detective, as somebody who is in the police force here. You have you joined the police force to try and do a little bit of good. You found out pretty quickly through your various sort of assignments, as well as the way in which most of the rest of the officers talk, as well as how your sergeant even talks, that well, the police force is not really a force for good necessarily, and more a force for order. And that order being very hierarchical in the way in which it's prioritized. But nonetheless, you can still try to do your best.
Even if it's detrimental to himself.
Hopefully without getting fired.
Hopefully. Yeah.
All right. So you're heading off to retire for the evening. Nova Pop, Don, you guys have been talking to Julian for a little while, getting a bit of a plan together. How's that plan looking? As we kind of zoom in on the mansion, have you three in the lounge, sitting around a roaring fire. Cigars available, but not being used.
Homie just popped away. He's Said someone else at the door.
I'm back though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I didn't see that part.
Haha.
Okay, cool. Uh-huh. Okay, well, as we left off last time, Nova Pop had proposed a plan to contact our other two fellows in our solo and our nomad. We were to have Julian. We had suggested to Julian, I don't know if he gave us an answer. We suggested to Julian that we put out through some underground channels. I'm echoing.
Oh yeah, his the news station plan. He said he'd do that for us.
Yeah, so essentially we will have put out some incorrect info that says that we're bringing in some out of town. The police are bringing in some out of town's cyber forensic experts to examine the cyberware from the killed person to identify the Nomad and the Solo. Ideally, they will discover this, take the bait, and then visit us at a safe place of our location where we can approach them with our plan to bring them on board to our little endeavor.
Dawn thinks going to try and recruit that police officer would be a better use of time in the meantime. He might have information we don't have.
Yeah, while we wait for them to take the bait.
You want me to handle talking to the cop? Dawn offers while getting another cigarette.
You're certainly going to have to track him down. It's going to be the main issue. I assume, since Mr. Pop over here is a little bit more skilled in net running and the like, he might be able to figure out that sort of information. He's a public official after all. That shouldn't be terribly hard to at least find some information on him to work with.
We have the number of his patrol car and the time he was using it. That should be enough to go on to begin with.
Assuming his ass isn't on a fire for that chase to begin with.
Well, we could find out if we could get into their database and find out who was assigned to that car yesterday. That's generally low priority information, so it should be a little less difficult.
That should be publicly available information, I would say, and likely it's going to be a part of the news cycle for at least the next day or so, until the next bit of chaos occurs.
Why is Ryder here?
Ryder's outside.
Oh, you're using his voice.
No, Ryder's voice is a little bit more rough.
He's a rough rider.
He has a bit more. He has a refined voice as well, and the fact that he's been working with the corporations for a little while, and so he's developed a little bit of an accent as a result. But he's a little bit more of a rough and tumble type of fellow. Whereas Julian is quite a bit more, I suppose, soft-spoken in comparison.
All right, sorry about that.
It's been a week.
Yeah, some time. Okay. Well, we'll get on it. Do you want us to start some work here? Or do we want to? Should we head off and find our own place?
I'll leave that information up to you two.
Shouldn't be too hard.
I mean, all I need is a television with a public feed to get started.
Well, you can feel free to use the one in my living space, if you require that.
Okay, well, if you don't mind having us for a bit.
Not at all, though I should probably get some actual tea going if you're going to be staying a little bit longer.
Okay, no problem.
Let's
do it. Or he'll take out Nova Pop will take out his agent, bring up some recording programs, and then wait to be escorted to the television.
Okay.
Do we call it television in Cyberpunk, or is it something else?
It's more like a trid set. These things tend to be more like 3D projections than they are actual televisions at this point.
Okay. Hey, heading over to the trid set.
While they're doing that, Don will just most likely stay chilling in the lounge for a little while, just staring out the window.
Okay.
Enjoying the view of Night City.
I have a little
Nope.
bit more of a, I suppose, condensed version of Night City outside of my own windows. Keeps its eye on the upper class areas, I would say. Though, if you were to go to the southern part of the mansion and take a look over the horizon, you will find the worst of the worst in the combat zone.
A bloodbath on display.
Not necessarily. You'd need quite a bit of a zoom lens to actually get close enough to see that.
How long have you been living here anyway?
Oh, just past several years, I would say. I used to be based back in the UK, but I found that they have been cracking down quite a bit on the type of work that I enjoy.
Any dream could come true in Night City, huh?
Indeed. While you're working on this, Nova, real quick, what exactly is your goal right now?
Goal is get a look for news reports, in public. Find any publicly available information about the officer involved. If the officer's not involved, look for at least an image from a good still, either from my camera, my recording that I have in my agent, or from something in the news. See if I can get eyes on the driver, the officer, and see if I can use that to identify him. At least if it's not outwardly, if his name isn't given, at least get a face.
Okay. Can I get a basic tech roll from you? Okay. 17, not a problem. You were able to find at least one of the various different major news streams that covered the events today. And there are at least a couple of streams that actually go into detail as to, at the very least, the officer involved in the chase as a sort of talking head that you're pretty sure is like somewhat animated, probably not even actually like real, is in the midst of kind of giving a little bit of a breakdown. Detective Santos was on the case at this particular juncture, at which point he, according to reports, he claims to have found the pinging of the cyberware of the various of the Mitsubishi exec's son, at which point he gave chase. There were several calls that were made for backup, which were not answered by the Arroyo department, at which point he was forced to chase the perpetrators in question all around the entirety of the city, creating quite a bit of a spectacle and putting many lives in danger. There's like a picture of Santos, like what his NCPD ID would have on the as his picture kind of like shown up in the front. Why exactly the rest of the NCPD didn't immediately answer to these calls for help is very difficult to say, and why exactly Santos found it necessary to chase this vehicle all throughout the city instead of writing down some information and trying to investigate further rather than putting everybody at risk with a high-speed chase is also difficult to say. So far, the NCPD department has not reached out for comment.
I officially hate media.
He turns on the TV, sees that for 2 seconds, throws his remote through it.
Dude,
Okay, well, we got a name and a face. Okay, now to only find what he's on now. Let's see. It sounds like he's giving the police a bit of a black eye.
Okay.
It means he's probably might be pulling some desk duty, is what Noah Pop thinks, or might be giving some time off. Well, from this location, can I get into? Well, actually, what? So it's still the evening time now, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so the day's over, so he's probably home. So you can try to either approach him at home or try to approach him at the job. Anything I can get into about his where he lives?
That is going to take a electronic / security tech role. As you kind of try to get into the more or less scheduling of the NCPD database.
Also taking precautions not to make sure this whole business isn't traced back to this dude's house.
Okay. You're having a bit of trouble getting into the database. A wireless connection is definitely going to be a little bit weaker. Your tech is working a little bit slow on actually getting into it. If you were able to kind of either find a police vehicle of some sort that has a computer connected to their database, or the NCPD department itself, the prison, or anything that's just connected to it directly, that might make things a little bit easier for you.
Okay. I'll head back, find his friend, and find Julian. Just say, okay, we have a name and a face for a location. We'll have to work a little harder. We'll need access to a police network, possibly a car. Otherwise, tomorrow, when I assume he's going to go to work sometime, we can try to find something in camera feed if he's walking around somewhere in the city.
In the meantime, what about your getaway driver and security?
Well, as we said, you'll put out the word of the
We're gambling a lot on the bait.
the bait.
I see. Well,
That'll give them some time to.
seems you'll be
Respond to
relying on me heavily in order to make sure that I get their attention.
If it doesn't work, we'll try and go see some nomads. Rather, I suppose he should.
Yes, I don't
Well,
think
you
they
would
would.
off- you-
I don't think they would take the presence of someone dressed as snazzily as yourself very well.
You're not wrong there. Don says while just brushing back his hair.
You offered to do the bait in addition to whatever we were doing, just to so we have another extra plan. But while I'm in, and if I get into some of the public net and some of the public, some of the security cameras, I'll look around the area of the chase. I'll probably see if I can get an ID on the Nomad. ID on the Solo will be, I think, much more difficult. He was fully disguised. In any case, we can head off for the night. How about we meet up? Don, how about we meet up in the morning?
All right.
And we'll get to work on this.
All right. I'll flick you my deets. Don
Okay.
says we're sending him his details and contacts.
Okay, and I'll send in mine.
All right. So
I
you
got
can
a
now
container.
communicate via your agents.
Yeah, I got a container just outside the combat zone.
You need a ride home, Nova?
Sure.
Good. And Juliana, to make up for the inconvenience of you having to do so much work, you could take 3% of my cut.
Only 3%. You're being quite, I suppose, precocious in these dealings.
Just want to make sure all ends are happy. It'll make the cable smoother in the end.
Don't worry, I have a flat fee that I always use for my services whenever I am utilized in order to complete a job. Beyond that, I do believe that this particular job is being paid for out of pocket by the Voodoo Boys themselves, so I'll make sure that it's split evenly.
Thank you. We'll take our leave now.
All right.
Thank you, Julian.
You will both have a pleasant evening, at least to the best of your abilities, and try not to get yourselves killed in the meantime.
Do our best.
Wouldn't dream of it.
Both of you make your way out, and Ryder is kind of just sitting outside in his car very patiently, listening to this very calming, almost meditative type of music in the vehicle.
Don bangs on the window to mess with him.
Give me stealth. I want to see whether or not you actually surprise him.
I could see this is going to end well. There it is.
Okay. You sneak up to the side of the door and give a quick onto the window, and you see him like kind of calmly reach over towards the knob for the music and turn it down before unlocking the door and then rolling down the window for you. Yes, sir.
Hey, Ryder. Sorry, just testing you there. I need to call it a favor with you. See, you introduced me to that friend, and it worked out pretty great. I agreed to take one of my new associates back home. Do you mind?
Not at all. After all, driving is sort of my job.
Yeah, but making someone go out of their way is always a bit rude, I feel like. Alright, get it, kid. He'll shot the Nova.
We'll get on in. A little old to be kid, but I'll take it.
It's the mustache.
I might say he looks more along the lines of your age, sir. I'm not sure kid is a proper nomenclature.
Only a kid would have a mustache like that, Don will say quietly.
Pleasure to meet you, sir. Is there a particular temperature you prefer?
No, I'm comfortable.
And particular music that you would like to enjoy on your ride?
We can keep listening to what you had on. That sounds nice and relaxing.
Very good, then. Where exactly will I be taking you, then?
I give him instructions to my container, which is outside of Pacifica.
He gives a bit of a nod before kind of putting the car in drive and making his way back out of the long driveway of Julian's home. The driver seems to be a professional by all accounts, from, at the very least, your perception, Nova Pop. Keeps things nice and quiet unless you ask him anything. Does not unnecessarily try to encroach on you or ask you any strange questions. He seems to be the type not to try to look for a tip by being too much of a buddy. And eventually, he will. Where did you live again? You lived like right around here.
Thought it was. I kind of forget, but I believe it was outside of the. I thought it was outside of the combat zone, like not in it, but near it. It was in the outskirts a little bit, like we.
Gotcha. So like right around here.
I think so. We'll
Okay.
double check. Double check on the old stream.
Okay.
In case it becomes relevant later.
Not a terribly long drive then, as you guys make your way to Nova Pop's little cargo container that he lives in. As you approach, he puts the car in park for a moment, and then folds his hands as he looks back to you. Have a good evening, sir.
Have a good night.
Quite the cozy place. You take it easy in there.
Will do.
As you take your leave, and he relocks the doors, and kind of begins to drive off with Don, and he kind of rolls his neck a little bit. I believe the condescension probably is unnecessary for a new associate, sir.
Sorry, like to test them out.
Uh,
Things went well with Julian.
I'm glad to hear that. Is there anything that I should be aware of?
Well, you're probably going to be doing a lot more driving. We need to recruit a team, and that's going to take some effort.
Oh no, I get to do the thing that I love doing. What a horrible fate that awaits me.
I know how agonizing it can be just sitting still all day.
So long as I am inside the vehicle, any vehicle, there is no... It is like being at home. Driving is a thing that I love to do. As such, the only time in which I'm actually working is when I have to be inside the office building to any degree.
Well, you're great at your job. I appreciate you for putting up with me.
It is partially in the job description to put up with any of the eccentricities of the people that I work with. I'm just very glad that you are not as, precocious as some of my previous employers.
I'm guessing those guys didn't last long.
I did not last long with them. I have standards for people that I work for, and when those standards are breached, I do find it necessary to separate myself.
Now that I understand completely. That Nova guy, he seems pretty reliable though. Julian too.
I can't get a good read on Nova at the moment, sir, but he at the very least seems like a professional.
He gets the job done. That's the most important part. He's already taken a good few steps ahead.
Then what is his specialization, then?
He's a net runner. Is that right? I'm making sure I didn't screw that up.
A rare skill outside of corporate settings.
Out of character, yes, you're correct.
While they're riding along, Don will just check his phone, make sure there's nothing going on back at the office, just to be safe. Like if he missed any messages during that.
Nope, pretty quiet day.
Before Noah Pop heads to bed, he's going to create some text for the bait, just like sort of fill it with some accurate enough technobabble about the plan to have some high level experts do cyber forensics on the cyberware, and then I'll send it off to Julian, just so he has some accurate techno talk that he can pepper into the bait.
All right. Well, I believe that means that everybody will be settling in for the evening. For their various reasons, some people getting ready to go to work the next day, some people hoping to be able to go home the next day, whatever the case may be. The night continues onwards as the news cycle continues to drone on and on about all the various different new developments in the investigation as things progress, at least as much as people are able to garner. Media jobs can be somewhat difficult, what with all the information that is regularly being hidden from them, but it's not uncommon for them to have their very somewhat mysterious ways of obtaining information that is not meant for them. Um, in the morning, Dragon, uh, one of the older nomad that greeted you guys the day before kind of stands outside of your tent and gives it a bit of a scratch on the front to get your attention.
I'm cleaning my gun, making sure everything is prepped for the day. Eating my MRA.
You in there, June?
Working on Bessie.
I got some important information.
I finish the last cleaning the last part, getting all the sand out of it, and pack up my tools and walk out of my tent.
And as you walk out, and seems to be in the midst of looking at something that he has kind of like attached to his arm, as he looks up to you and then looks back to it and starts pressing some buttons on the device. Got ourselves a bit of a problem, it seems. I'm guessing that this, as he presses a button, you see a 3D kind of like projection display in the air of two cars like flying through Night City. One being, of course, K9's vehicle, followed by an NCPD vehicle. Is you?
A chuckle. Good times.
Good times it may have been for you, but it's going to cause some problems for us, for one thing. Secondarily, I've been keeping an eye on this particular story to see when you can just head on back home. But we've got an issue. Did you, I don't know, have a body with you at the time?
Yeah, that was probably a dumb idea. Who knew it was a high-profile individual?
He presses another button as a news feed starts to go out. This is one of the various different media personalities that kind of uses a bit of a 3D projection of their own sort of persona, as opposed to what they actually look like. As they kind of put it up in front of what seems to be a newsroom, but is likely in and of itself a projection. As it says, currently, the NCPD is in the process of exhuming the body and attempting to autopsy it in such a fashion that they can determine exactly the cause of death. Beyond that, we are also told that there are several different new investigative techniques that will allow them to track any sort of cyberware which the perpetrators may have had in the process. We are also going to be looking through the news feed, says the NCPD, to see if we can't get a scan of the various different cyberware that might be utilized by the people in question. If that is the case, we can definitely track them down, and this will not be a difficult issue, and we'll be able to resolve this within a few days' time. Provided that we are able to get a proper autopsy done, says the chief of police, it won't be terribly difficult to find out who did this.
As far as I know, standard cyberware doesn't come with the scanning sensor suite. It's bullshit.
How the hell did they find you then?
Did they find me?
They were chasing you through the city. Pretty sure they did.
Like I said, it was some high-profile individual. They tracked the cyberware.
Yeah, it's a high-profile individual, meaning they're going to be devoting a lot of resources to finding him. Now, I appreciate the fact that you saved one of my boys, and that's why you're out here, and that's why we haven't kicked you into the curbs so that you can survive on your own in the wastes. So that's a good thing. But if you end up leading the NCPD out here and I end up getting responsible for harboring a fugitive, that's going to be an issue for me and mine. They are going to be devoting a lot of resources to find out what happened here. Now, you might not believe that they'll be able to figure it out, but I'm not so skeptical.
better salvage your car then, I suppose.
Oh yeah, we just have that ability to just get rid of cars and just scrap them. You don't seem to have any understanding of the way of things out here, and I don't care to explain it to you. But what I do care to explain is that if they manage this autopsy correctly, and they do manage to track you down, that's an issue. At the very least, they'll probably be able to figure out where he died, get the information off of his suite, figure out where he last was, track down that location, probably find the remains of whatever vehicle he used, probably find the remains of whatever weapon you used, and then it's only a matter of time before they find out the person who owns the weapon used. Do you got me?
Yeah, well, life's a drag, isn't it?
You're not taking this as seriously as I hope you do. We brought you in. We gave you a place to stay. A nice, secure place away from all the pirates and shit. One of my boys got you away from the police. The least you can fucking do is make sure it doesn't come back to bite us in the ass.
Well then, I suppose I shouldn't go back to Night City then.
It's not...
Start walking off in the other direction.
Hey!
Away from Night City.
Dipshit! They're still going to come after us. They know a nomad was driving you around. No getting out of that.
And what do you want me to do about it?
You're going to stop the autopsy is what you're going to do. K9's going to bring you into the city in a different vehicle. You're going to have a different look about you. I don't know, take off that fucking helmet or something. Something that makes you a little bit less distinctive and easy to spot. You're going to retrieve that body, and you're going to get it out here, and we're going to burn it so that nobody can figure out anything about it.
Very well then.
Guy shakes his head at you before heading off to find K9. K9, you find the sort of elder of the clan kind of knocking on your window this morning, somewhat aggressively.
Yeah.
Got a job for you,
Is it
kid.
dawn already?
Yep.
Kenan stands up slowly, opens the door, gets up. Okay. Is the other guy ready to leave?
We've got to kind of change of plans.
No, what happened? Something bad?
They're doing an autopsy on the body. Apparently, there is going to be a couple of different investigations done. Now, I'm not entirely certain they'll be able to track our car just via the various different feeds. If so, we'll see what we can do about that. But the thing that's got me a little bit more worried is that the fella that your friend killed may have had recording equipment in his person, internal. If they manage to get access to that, then they'll be able to get an access as to who you are, if he saw you, where he was when he died, and then continue the investigation from there. Which means, eventually, the NCPD will find their way to us.
Oh shit, that's That's serious. We
That's-
can't let that happen. No.
Yeah, a lot more serious than your fucking friend seems to think it is.
Yeah, he's a weirdo. I mean, he saved me, but he's. I mean, I don't judge, but you know.
I already more or less told him what I need him to do. I need you to drive him into town, find where they're doing the
Sure.
autopsy, retrieve the body,
Sure.
get it out of there, and burn it.
Sounds like an easy thing to do.
Let's hope so.
So, do you have any informations where they keep the body? Is there like in the police department or?
I don't know if they're keeping it out of the police department, if they got it at a hospital, or where exactly they've got it. You're going to have to figure that out. Now, I know that there are some folks who are pretty good at finding out information in the city. Combat Zone's got some people. Voodoo Boys, pretty sure they can probably handle that sort of a situation, but they're probably going to charge for the services.
Yeah, but Comet Zone probably charges more than money.
There's a possibility,
So-
but I don't really have a whole lot of connections with all the freelance net runners.
If it's about net running, we should probably go to the Voodoo Boys, right?
That's the thought.
Yeah. Then I think we're heading there.
I'll send word ahead. Hopefully, they'll at the very least respect things and respect the way of things enough to at least hear you out. In terms of charging you, though, not really a whole lot I can do as far as helping you out with that. This is what you might call an unexpected expense.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's still better than us getting problems.
So, make your way down there. See if you can't find somebody who can help you figure out where the body's being held. Get the body, get it out, burn it, and then we should be square. At least, hopefully, you're able to do it fast enough that they don't end up ripping any sort of valuable data out of it.
Okay, I understood. That sounds like it's serious. We should go right now.
Last thing I need is a bunch of NCPD police officers driving over here, demanding us giving up your buddy, who, by that point, considering how non-committal he seems, probably abandons us. And then we have to say we don't have him, they don't believe us, and then we get into a firefight. That's going to be lovely.
Yeah, we should stop this right now. Yeah, you're right.
And if
We've
you
lost
can,
enough
I don't
people.
know, pound some sense into him in some way, let him know that actions have fucking consequences and he can't just go around doing whatever the fuck he wants.
I would love to, actually.
If you can.
Seems like
I don't know.
someone-
Might be an impossibility.
Might be. Have had worse.
All right, well, he's getting ready. He's packing his stuff up, so expect him pretty soon.
Yeah, then I'm going to look for Dragon.
Kind of moves away from you with a frustrated look on his face.
My tent was literally like butted right up against K9's car.
But I don't know if you're there. Are you there?
I still had to pack my tent up. I was doing that in the
Okay.
middle of.
Well, you're so quiet. Anybody can be forgiven
Yeah.
for not knowing that you're still there.
Hold on. I can Does that help?
I am also here. I haven't disappeared.
um, okay. Um, so you guys will be making your way probably into the city to try and
Yeah.
find someone who can track down where the autopsy is being held, so you can go get the body and try and fix this little mess. In the meantime, Mr. Santos, you woke up this
Yes.
morning feeling however it is that you feel about the coming day, knowing full well what your duty is going to end up being, going through a somewhat gang-controlled area and patrolling, seeing if there's anything that requires your expertise in any way, trying to stay out of any sort of large-scale issues, while also trying to rebuild a bit of relationship with the people of Arroyo so that they don't hate the police as much as they currently do. You kind of fold up all of your stuff in your cube hotel, make your way out, and make your way down to the station where you sign in for the day. And unfortunately are not given a car today since you're going to be on foot patrol. And you make your way around the sub-district, I should say, of Arroyo. There, you are definitely feeling eyes on you. There are people who are keeping an eye on you. There are people who are looking at you suspiciously. You're seeing a lot of very average folks, workers, either warehouse workers or otherwise, who are not terribly keen on seeing you in their section of town right now. Now, this is a little bit unfortunate because Arroyo is also home to the prison that the NCPD generally uses. And it's not uncommon for various officers, both off and on duty, to find themselves either utilizing the various bars in the area when they are off duty or some of the diners in the area when they're on duty. So it's going to be a bit rough for anybody who's assigned to this particular sub-district for a while, probably.
He breathes heavily and he thinks to himself, it is my job to change the situation here. It is natural. It's the first day. They saw the news. Let's get going with this.
Do you have any strategies in mind as to how you're going to try and lessen the sort of like tension in the area?
First, he's thinking about basically building familiarity. Get a coffee from here, wait for the night to get a beer there, go at this local restaurant. Basically, while he does patrolling, he's going to start making little connections, a small talk. He knows he's going to be rejected or probably looked at weirdly or with disdain by the people here. But that needs to change, and the only way to do that is through small steps.
Okay. As you're interacting with people on the streets here, can you give me a conversation check to see how well you're able to kind of ingratiate yourself with the locals?
Conversation. Where's this?
Right under social skills, right under bribery.
Thank you. Conversation. And say, confirm. Yeah, that did not go well.
As you are kind of updating some people, as someone kind of approaches you and asks, like, why are you guys making a presence at the moment? You're trying to be as diplomatic as possible, and in the midst of your conversation with them, another person ends up coming by, dressed in what appears to be kind of like generic pop chic outfit. He's got a little bit of a sideways cap on. He starts freestyling about how the cops are pigs, like right next to you. He's got his music playing, and it is nice and obnoxious. He's real loud and kind of over talking you. He's giving a bunch of lines about how the police don't care, and so we have to be aware. It's shit like that. It is not a good look.
I kind of try to make the best of the situation, and I talk with the person, with the civilians, and I basically point at him and say, "This is exactly the kind of thing we're dealing with. Like, we're doing
we're dealing with this nonsense on a daily basis. These rapscallions who don't appreciate us and make songs about how much they hate us. Like, can you really blame us for being incompetent? We have these people in our way."
Okay, you just reminded me of something IRL. I'll have to, not to disrupt the flow of the game, I'll tell you later, but it just gave me the most amazing flashback to something that happened IRL to my brother that is very similar to this exact same thing.
we are doing our best. Of course, we are doing the best with a bad situation, and this kind of thing doesn't help.
They track
So,
one person, say they're doing the best, but you know what? What about the rest?
Keep thinking, should I try to rap with him?
I think you should. I really think you should.
It's humiliating myself for getting familiar with these people. We do our best. We do what we can. We cannot be there everywhere.
They do what they can when you've got money, but if you in trouble and you poor, sorry, honey.
Well, I'm here to help you deal with the problems of the common folk. And he just stops trying when he goes to that second rhyme. It doesn't work for him. He doesn't know how to rap.
Everybody knows just trying to save face. But guess what? We all saw you on the news. You know Ace.
That's why I'm here. I've been civilized by the circumstances of my life and my duty, and I came here because we care, and I've been assigned to, try to better protect and understand. And what you're doing is pretty valuable to us, but these are not the proper channels.
Who here believes that what I'm doing is valuable to these guys? See some of the gathered people who are just kind of like crossing their arms. Now, who here believes that if it was just me and him, he'd put a gun on me and tell me to shut the fuck up? See several raised hands. That's what we think about you.
I understand. And that's why I'm here trying to buy coffee, trying to show you that we are also people. We're also part of the society.
Are you? See, as far as I see, you're just cogs in a machine.
Yes. And it is the machine that tries to keep us all safe. It is not perfect, but me being here is proof that we are getting better.
See, I remember having seen a lot of people in this machine looking real lean when it comes to people like you and me.
Yeah, that was an actually pretty fucking good rhyme. I have to concede on that. Now, I have no literal answer for this, as I didn't understand 90% of what you were saying there. But lyrically and musically, I assume it's a good point.
You're getting the sense that you definitely do not have the gathering people who are kind of like coming by and listening to this performance. They're definitely not on your side. You're kind of being used as a bit of like a sideshow attraction right now.
He is totally okay with that situation, and he's kind of letting it, swallowing it all under the guise of, "It's my first day. Let's make the effort."
God.
Well then, citizen, I'm going to get myself a coffee. And if you want, you can write your rap into a formal wrap of paper.
You might
Did this
shoot me just
motherfucker
for
just tell me to formalize my raps and turn it into a complaint? Did this chumbo over here just tell me, please write your local councilman? Did this son of a bitch over here just tell me to email the police with my complaints? Oh yeah, I'm sure that's gonna go places.
Deliver it to me. And I'll do my best as a cog in the system that you'll see every day.
You'll do your best in your role, and your role is to serve and protect the powers that be, not people like them and me.
Then let's wait for a week. See how the people like you and him and her, because we do not discriminate on that.
You are there. The amount of people who have gathered now are getting like looking at you and just being like, boo.
I know, but give me a week, give me a month.
Listen,
Things-
listen, man. Listen. I appreciate the fact that you're sitting here and taking it, but my mans, if you're trying to get our respect, you ain't making it. So why don't you go out there and you get some coffee and a donut while we out here, kind of going nuts.
He just rhymed nut with nuts.
Donut and nuts. They are different
He looks
words.
at him, he looks at the people, and when he says you are not gaining on respect, he says, "I don't really need it. So this is a spectacle you're making. Like I'm not getting anything out of this, and I don't know what you are gaining out of it."
He out here saying he don't care what we think.
Walked into that one.
I literally said 5 minutes ago, you know what? Doesn't matter. I'm going to get myself a coffee and I'm going to continue my patrol. You continue your rapping career, and I'll do my best to protect you no matter how much you try to roast me. And he kind of walks away.
Let's just give a hand to the most oblivious son of a bitch that has ever walked the streets of Arroyo. Give him a hand, everybody. Just give him an absolute wow. Holy crap. You could not have done a worse job at making yourself look good in this situation. Okay.
I look back at him for a second, saying, "My man, I don't know what you."
Am I your man? Am I your man? Man, you just making it worse for yourself, bud.
Is it bad that I say that?
Yes.
I think it is.
Oh, then why is it?
Because
Why
I
is
ain't
he
your
a
man.
former
I ain't
person?
your man. You know who your men are? The people up in those towers. That's who your men are. I ain't one of them.
He kind of rolls his eyes, and he actually goes back to do his stuff.
All right. Well, that's another stream.
And he kind of says, "Okay, don't glow it. Prove through actions. Prove through actions."
So Nova, you're kind of like scanning all sorts of different communications right now that are going in and out of various different news streams, seeing if there's any sort of reports on people coming into the city, or if there is any new reports in the police or anything along those lines. And there is sort of like a more or less front page video that gets uploaded, like basically in the morning there. It's Funny Cop Fails compilation number 263. Well, it's a new channel. It's a relatively new channel, so
Week old at most.
he kind of creates a burner account and puts a dislike on it.
Yeah. And the thumbnail has Santos like putting his hands up in the air and kind of like trying to make a point, whereas you have this rapper next to him with like a microphone in his hands like pointing at him, and there's like a circle over top of Santos's face with like an arrow pointing to the word pig, and then there is a circle over top of the rapper's face with an arrow pointing up saying based.
You have like 15 flossing teenagers in the background.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Nova Pop will look at this and just hold his fingers to his temples and goes, Jesus Christ. He's watching this horror show. It's like, okay, well, at least we haven't. Well, that was easy. He's gonna bring up his agent.
I mean, how else do you react when the guy you're looking for appears in front of your recommended feed?
And he's gonna give
Don.
God damn it, homie, what's your character's name?
Don Bruce.
Don.
Yes.
Okay. He's gonna give Don a call on his agent. Hey, Don.
Nova, you got back to me sooner than I expected.
Yeah, it went better than I expected, or worse. Depending on
Are you
your
about to tell
point
me
of
that
view.
he's in your house?
No. I just did a quick. I was just doing the open source social media search. I just typed in. I figured since he's. I look for more videos related to the ones that went off yesterday over the traffic accident or the traffic chase, and I'm just gonna send this to you. It defies explanation, verbal explanation, and he forwards over the link to that video. This just went down. This just went down earlier today.
Don will have been drinking a cup of coffee and trying to enjoy his usual morning routine while getting ready. He just looks at the video real quick. Are you kidding me? I'm watching a pig get roasted live and him not reacting. Are you sure he's a cop?
Well, he's definitely our man.
He literally told a guy to his face, in the middle of gang turf basically, to file a report. They have an auto shredder for those.
This is horrific on every level, but very good for us.
Do you know where the video was taken?
I think we could figure that out pretty quickly, right?
Give me a streetwise. You live kind of like around
Wait,
the
what?
area, Nova Pop, so you might be able to determine from the surroundings where that might be.
Wasn't the gangster screaming about Arroyo at one point?
Yeah, you did mention Arroyo, so that
Yes.
you know that.
Yes. So somewhere in that area, but you can probably pinpoint a little bit more with a successful skill check.
All right.
Okay. Let's see. So it's a 13 on that. Bruce, I'm not sure if you have streetwise anything on that yourself, but it doesn't look like it.
No.
Okay. You're not entirely certain where this exactly is, but the police, Santos himself said that he was going to be getting some coffee. You do know of a fairly popular diner in Arroyo, so he might be going there if he's going to be getting some coffee.
Looks like he's walking the beat in one of the least desirable areas of town for a lawman to be walking around. So I imagine we can probably swing by and find him pretty quickly. We'll start with the coffee place he was mentioning he was going. He might be there now. I think if we get your driver together, I don't know if it's worth the time to swing by and pick me up, but since you have access to a car, I think that's where you can go.
I'll give Ryder a call. Think I should avoid wearing my suit out there.
Yeah, just go a little cash, and I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna stay here and monitor the net. That's actually, I think that's the best idea. I'll stay here, monitor the net, do some more research, see if I can get real time tracking on him.
All right, flick me the location of the diner, please.
I'll do so. And I'm going to keep looking, and I'm going to forward anything I find to you.
Do me a favor and save that video, by the way.
It's already done.
Nice. Don will hang up at that point before we
This
begin.
asshole.
This is in my favorites list. It's going on my bookmarks. I'm putting it in a playlist.
It's like,
Make a montage out of it.
I already
Don
downloaded
will
that for
like it.
offline. Yeah, that's already downloaded offline. Got it.
Don will have liked the video and subscribe.
I'm backing it off. I'm backing it up on 2 different hard drives right now. I'm making sure this never leaves me.
But yeah, I imagine the most casual clothes Dawn could find was maybe a regular simple white shirt with a black vest and some jeans. He'll call up his driver.
Okay, so you want to look somewhat like Cash and not look like a fucking corpo heading out.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And Novapop's also going to stay in this container. He's also going to monitor the camera he set up for the bait location.
Okay.
He's got to be busy with those 2 things.
So, so yeah, Don, you will be letting Ryder know to take you to the Kenmore Diner to have yourself a nice little breakfast. Where it's basically the sort of like popular stop shop for most breakfasts and lunches and dinners in Arroyo. It's not a huge place, but it's well frequented and has a very loyal customer base, including officers on duty.
He'll step in and admire the locale a bit. It's almost a little surreal. Feels pretty homey too. He'll look around, see if he can see Santana or anywhere.
It's a single floor diner, but it's pretty wide and pretty long. It's got like a pretty long, I suppose, bar area, for a lack of a better term. It's not really a bar, but it's kind of like that place, it's got all the stools kind of in front of it.
Counter?
Yeah. Well, a very long one, yeah. And there's a couple of police officers who are currently in uniform there. Santos, when you enter into the diner, it's a little bit of a breath of fresh air. Nobody's staring at you. Nobody really cares. People are just kind of like attending to their own needs, enjoying their food, having their conversations, just kind of like living in their own world right now. You coming in, it's another cop as far as everybody else is concerned. Cops come in here all the time. No one cares. It's a much more relaxed atmosphere for you. So you don't have the pressure of all the people staring at you, being literally roasted alive by a freestyle artist on the streets.
Giving him more ammo to roast you with.
You even see that there's a couple other officers in here currently enjoying some pancakes and
freestyle pig no. It's the title of the video is freestyle pig roast underscore. It's underscore has no response.
Tells him to fill out a report.
Story.
That would be another one of the thumbnails. It's just like a picture of like Santos like trying to calm things down by saying, "Why don't you fill out a report?" And then like that's circled in red and like several
confused look from everyone around.
My God. Somehow Siren Head is there in the background.
Yo, I'm a huge dork. Why don't you fill out a report?
God.
Oh, fuck. The other couple of officers who are kind of already in here, Santos, they when you're kind of coming in to order something, they do look in your direction and give you a little bit of a nod, and one of them kind of gives you a bit of a grimaced look as he's like, "Ooh, they brought you out here." Man, Sergeant Waters has got to be pissed.
Yes, he is livid.
How you holding up, brother?
Well, I did have probably one of the most inconvenient moments with civilians, which makes me think, why the fuck am I trying to help them?
Listen, it's a thought that most of us have, at least once in a while. Enough people hate you, you just kind of wonder why you even bother doing this job. But you know, it's a job. You do what you got to do, and of course, people are going to get the wrong impression. I mean, think about it. We deal with the worst of the worst on a daily basis. Killers, liars, con artists, every single type of the worst types of people in Night City. And that's saying something, because Night City is infested with bad people. And we deal with the worst of them. And honestly, a lot of them are also pretty highly organized. I mean, you got to be if you got to be messing with rich folks, too. So, you know, people see us dealing with those people, losing our temper, as anyone would in our situation. People see us trying our best to do our jobs, but, you know, they just don't understand. They don't get our perspective. I guarantee you, if any of these people, if any of them went on a ride along with us for a day, they'd be saying, why don't we just execute these people in the streets? That's what they'd be saying. But they don't know. They don't understand.
Yeah, when you see a corpse being thrown out of the car you're chasing and it getting mauled on the highway, it gets weird. It changes you little by little.
Listen, man, I understand the sort of troubles, okay? You just got to end up grinning and bearing it. It just depends on how much you want the job. You know what I mean? Because for every 100 people out there who are going to look at you like you're a piece of shit just for wearing that uniform, there's at least one family who's going to be happy as hell that you exist because you stopped them from losing someone important to them.
Sancho sips his coffee, looks back at him, and says, yeah, you're right. It's worth it. It's something that needs to be done, yeah. He kind of has his passion about the job reignited, at least until another rapper comes into the door.
I swear to God, if we get roasted again, though, I might lose my shit.
I might wind up getting get court-martialed for shooting someone.
So yeah,
Maybe.
Am I able to identify him in this place?
Santos has a very distinctive look, even in uniform.
Yeah.
Even in uniform, it's pretty easy to see his face. He's very identifiable. It probably helps a little bit in terms of the algorithms that Santos is actually a very attractive person. Oh God! Now I'm thinking of the comment section.
God, no,
now I'm thinking of the comment section on the videos.
God. The first comment would literally just be pin that pig to a wall.
Someone just commenting, just like this motherfucker just needs to get out of the NCPD and join porn or something like that. Like it's just.
Next comment would be, but like, come on, how big is his dick really? Would he really do good at porn? I don't want to see that big.
And then there's a whole debate as to whether or not he's a bottom or a top.
And then 10 of the people in that debate are Nova Pop sock accounts.
Yeah.
And there's a few asking if he's a K-pop star. Don will just walk up behind Santos and say, "Hey, you're the professional roast victim."
Okay, we gotta have a crossover with Team One's
They'll
Team
see
One's
it.
Team One's Rocker Boy,
Yeah.
who will be appalled by this.
And says, he thinks about what he was just told. He tries to smile, swallow it in, and says, yeah, something I'm for the video.
One of the police officers kind of points, kind of holds up a hand to you, Don, and is just like, "Excuse me, sir, but we are currently just trying to enjoy our breakfast. If you're coming in here trying to start some problems, I'm going to have to ask you to leave, okay?"
Oh, you don't have to worry about that. I just need to request the aid of this officer here. The city needs his help.
Well, I guess that's up to him.
He stands up, looks at him and says, yeah, let's hear what you have to say. Would you need to move to somewhere more private?
Yes, my car's outside.
Great.
Don will lead him to the car. And once they're in the back, the first thing he'll do is just lay back and introduce himself. I'm Don Bruce of Rockland Augmentics, manager. And I must say, you in 2 days have become quite popular.
Is this related to the porno comments? Because I really don't want to. I read the comment section. I really do not want to dig augment. I'm okay with.
No, don't worry. I'm not about to request anything like that. But no. See, we got a job from a fixer, and right now we are in need of a inside man. The cut's even. It's fair if you decide to help out.
Does this have to do with the chase from the other day?
Yes. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's sort of what made you stand out pretty well. You know how you look doesn't help anything. If it makes you
They
feel,
say that everyone gets 15 minutes of fame.
yeah, well, so far you've amounted twice that much,
Yeah.
and without exposing a single testicle at all. It's amazing.
It's incredible. I was actually thinking about retiring 5 minutes ago. But yeah, as long as I don't have to, betray the police department, I suppose I can help.
Well, it's more about. It's not like Juliana made it out to be like just stealing for her, right? Just getting info. Is that how Juliana made it out to be, Lundy?
More or less.
Mm,
Tomato,
it's
tomato.
not- there won't be any betrayal of the police department. I wouldn't go recruiting cops to betray their own men. I've seen beat cops get beaten for that.
Yeah.
So, I'm guessing your boss wasn't too happy with your little incident yesterday.
Truly. Do I know that they are starting to track things? That they have a very high possibility of getting back at the person who killed the guy.
All right.
Sorry, I think he was asking whether or not he would know that. And as far as you're aware, Sergeant Waters actually does not believe that they will be able to find out who did this, and so they're trying to keep things as under wraps as possible in terms of the investigation, just like feed out vagaries and just be like, oh, well, it was right now they're trying to like create and fabricate a story about how he went out, got attacked by some pirates that are entirely unassociated with Night City, outside of the NCPD's jurisdiction. There's not much they could have done about it. Things like that. They're trying to cover all their tracks here, but this is all internal information.
Great. Then he says, yeah, if I don't need great betrayal and this will help find the killers, yeah.
About that.
Um,
We're also looking for the killers, but for drastically different reasons than you. We're looking to give them the same job.
Elaborate.
There's been a bit of a problem with the Voodoo Boys are having. They requested help. The Fixer is putting together a team to sort it out, so to speak, or rather get to the bottom of it. To do that, we need people specialized in certain skills. My job and your job have landed us in the position of convenience. If there's one thing I know, every cop in Night City wants the same thing, to make a difference, right?
More or less.
Well, I'm going to tell you the most important step to making a difference. Being sinful to cure sin.
Thanks for a second. Is that really the only way? I know that you just said so, but I feel like there is something that isn't feeding you. Who are you actually?
I told you. I'm Don Bruce, manager of Rockland Augmentics. But the thing I want, well, I may be a corpo, but my views don't align too well with rest. I wasn't always a
Then-
corpo, though. I scraped and dragged myself to that position.
You're a self-made man then.
That's one way to put it. I want to ask you if you want to be a self-made man. Because this is a good way to get eddies, some good street cred, and maybe get some of your dignity back before it gets destroyed by the comment section.
Yes. If you can get that video erased, I would be beyond grateful.
Donald keep a straight face and just put his fingers together like,
No deal.
Riders up front, kind of driving you guys around in a very slow, casual fashion, just goes. Pardon me. Terribly sorry about that.
I'm sorry, Santos, was it? I don't think there's any realistic way to do that unless you kill every single person who's possibly downloaded it, and that's most likely thousands in minutes.
Unfortunately, the open net tends to incorporate a lot of people who copy into that information. Once it's out there more or less permanently.
Okay.
But if you did want to change the city, your best bet, well, is to do it by helping the actual city itself through us.
On the plus side, if I may make a suggestion, sir, most of these sorts of, I suppose, public outcries and such tend to blow over in due time, usually as a result of various other things that happen within the city itself. Night City is not exactly what one might refer to as a stable place. There's always something going on, always someone new to point a finger at and say are the bad guys. I am certain that in due time, some product will get released, it'll accidentally kill some people, and then a corporation will be under the scrutiny of the public instead of a single individual lawman. What you could do, the best thing that you can do, in these sorts of situations is to avoid interacting with people, avoid drawing more attention to yourself, and potentially, in due time, succeed in something substantial, something that people will have to report on. The police get both good and bad credit in the city when they accomplish something and when they do not.
Then, I look rather at the corp and say, if your heart is with the city, and he gonna remember that, yeah, our commissioner, my boss, is covering all this up. He really doesn't care much beyond how much the civilians are capable of lynching him. And he says, if your heart is with the city, then I am with you. I take the job.
That's great. I'll flick you the deets for both me and the netrunner that you'll be cooperating with. As well as, do I give him the fixer deets? Is that something I'm allowed to do?
I'd rather not. Probably better not.
Yeah, I'll keep the fixer
That's
out of
our
that.
business, yeah.
I'll just keep it with just you and me.
Mm.
Alright, Santos, I look forward to working with you. And if you want some advice, stick to the sides of buildings and try to blend in. Wear clothes that match the colors of the place you're around. And always keep your holster ready.
A lot of that only really works off duty, sir. He does have a uniform he has to wear after all.
That is true.
Got some vacation time?
Oh, and for the love of God, do not respond to the ones egging you on. Or do. You are pretty good at making YouTube content.
I like the idea that YouTube still exists.
Yeah, right.
That's the first
I
thing
mean,
they
if there is a
got back.
dystopian future, YouTube will be in it.
Yeah.
That's the first thing the netrunners got back from the
YouTube
old
and
net.
Twitter will never die. They will always be out here. Even as the old internet entirely shuts down, YouTube and Twitter will remain in a brand new evolved form.
Yeah, even worse, owned by Arasaka.
Oh man.
Donald.
And he says, "Well, if things don't go right in my job, I can always open an OnlyFans."
Oh, no one deserves that. It's more dignifying to become a doll, Don will say while motioning Ryder to pull to the side to let Santos out.
Let's you kind of pull over to let Santos out and probably still somewhat near the diner just in case he wants to go back for any particular reason. It seems to be a little bit of a safe place for him at the current moment. He's got other people there who seem to at least have some level of care about him, comrades in arms, so to speak, as well as
Yeah.
a lot of customers that seem to be kind of living in their own worlds. And as you kind of move out, let's go ahead and head over to Canine and Dragon for a second. So Canine, as you're making your way into the city, you are kind of laying low to the best of your abilities. Oh shit, I've got 2 canines.
Oh yeah. Double the canine, double the fun.
It's just Ogba, but wearing the same clothes.
And as you guys are making your way into the city, the navigational computer on your vehicle begins to chirp at you. You are receiving what appears to be a call on the computer.
Weird. No one ever calls me on this thing. I take the call. Hello?
The vid feed is not up at the moment, so all you're getting is a voice, but the source of the voice seems to make the person behind the call's allegiances more or less clear. How are you doing today, Mr. Nomad?
I'm fine.
I am known as...
And you?
I am pretty good. I am known as Big Man of the Voodoo Boys. We, got contacted by, I believe, the person sending you into our fine little city. I suggested it might not be a good idea for you to be coming to the combat zone after such a, lively day yesterday. People are kind of on the edge at the moment, and strangers might end up causing them to be feeling kind of what one might call uneasy.
Oh, that's nothing I want someone to feel.
Not
so
at all,
what
not
do
at
you
all.
suggest?
Well, I talked to him a little bit, and I am to understand that you are looking for where a particular body being held. Yeah.
That's correct, yeah.
Now, I don't be knowing for certain, but one thing that I do be looking into is that according to recent reports from what I have seen, it appears that they're keeping it nice and out of the way, a place where people probably wouldn't be looking for it. Apparently, there is an empty cargo container not too terribly far from Rancho Coronado. You head out there, and maybe it be there, but could also be bait. So be aware and stay frosty. If it not be there and you end up needing a follow up, go ahead and save this contact information. It'll be good the rest of the day.
Thank you very much for the informations and the offer. I always have an eye on my surroundings, so I don't think that will be a problem.
I'll shoot you the navigational point as to where the cargo container be called.
Thank you very much. What do we owe you for this?
Well, it kind of depends. If this be the place and it's only a one-stop shop sort of deal, then I suppose I'll probably only charge you maybe $250 for it. But if you end up needing me some more, this not be the right place, we'll renegotiate. How that sound?
Sounds good for now.
Good luck, and, stay safe. Don't need customers dying on me.
Who does that? You too. Hope to see you soon. And I hang up.
Okay. Very shortly after, your navigational computer has nav points nice and highlighted for your location as to where you might be headed. Ah, there we go.
Love that Nova Pop's making money for Big Boy without even trying. He's a big man. Such a no wonder they like him. No wonder they like him. His horseshit story just netted them some money.
So, you guys make your way down to the nav point in question, and eventually you are able to find the sort of outlined on your AR display the cargo container that you've been sent to try and find the dead body of this fellow. When you arrive, it seems kind of inactive around here. It's a cargo container amongst various others. Both of you would be familiar with this sort of setup. There's a lot of people who live in cargo containers, in whole parks filled with them. They're kind of the modern day trailer parks, so to speak. And this one appears to be no different from most of the rest. You don't see any sort of patrolling cops or officers in the area. It seems pretty quiet, all things considered. You're not sure if that's an intentional thing or not, but yeah, that is the situation as you find it.
It looks a bit too quiet for my taste. I smell a trap. You better keep alerted. I stop, get out of the car, and take a good look around. Do I recognize any significant differences from what it should be?
Go ahead and give me a, let's call it a perception. See if you're able to pick
Okay.
out anything odd in the area.
Do we get our luck points after each session?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, good stuff.
Christ.
Yeah, you take a look around, and Rancho Coronado is kind of a suburb type area. This is kind of the place where kind of like your mid to high tier factory workers tend to live. It's kind of out, and it's from most of the dangers of Night City just in general. Though there aren't very many police officers who tend to be out in this particular area, it also tends to be a fairly well kept area. The 6th Street Gang has more or less advanced from Arroyo as well as Rancho Coronado. They basically dominate most of the Santo Domingo area. And they provide security for the place. So when you look around, you do see that there are some 6th Street Gang colors that kind of like dot the various sort of landscape, but none of them seem like they're on high alert.
Okay, so nothing unusual for this area.
Correct.
Okay, I keep my hand on my heavy pistol and start to approach the container.
Okay. Nothing seems to stop you on your approach.
Are you coming too? Or you want to stay here for backup?
I'd probably stay for backup.
Sure. Sounds good. then keep watch of my car.
Okay. So you head over cautiously to the container. It does seem like it's something which you could just open. It does not have a particularly comprehensive lock on it.
Then I do so.
Okay. Novapop, you've been looking at the security feed of your bait container, and you see the door open, and you see what appears to be a mohawked individual opening up the door and looking in somewhat cautiously.
Okay, first things first, capture his image, do an image search, see if I can identify him.
This does, well, actually, go ahead and make me a basic tech roll.
Let's burn 3 luck with that too.
Okay. Oof.
Ooh.
Ouch.
Most of the videos that you seem to have on hand for the chase seem to be kind of like blurred in terms of the actual driver of the Nomad vehicle, so you're not quite certain that matches up. And of course, the other person in the videos feeds is all masked up and geared up, so it would be impossible to do a facial recognition search on that as well. So you're not certain.
Okay, so what will be found in the container is essentially a single long table, as if something that can hold a body, covered by a sheet.
So, this is it?
Do you have anything on the table that is covered by the sheet that might at least make it look like there's a body there?
Yes, it
Okay.
looks like a body
Okay.
is covered by a sheet.
All right.
Yeah.
I just took a random crack addict off the sidewalk.
So you're the one that takes care of this guy?
Who? Novapop's not there.
Not there. Novapop's not there.
He's
Ah,
monitoring
so-
the camera feed.
Ah, I see. So no one's there. Just
Nope.
the table.
Just seems like a table with a body covered in a sheet. That's all you see.
Oh, okay. Then I just lift the sheet. Cautiously, Still the hand on my pistol.
When you pull the sheet away, you will see that it is a very crummy-looking mannequin. And then out of the torso of the mannequin, just like a clamshell pops open, and there is a, what would you call laptop in the future?
Laptop.
Okay, cool. I don't know, phones or something else with laptops. What do I know? I'm new at this shit. Okay, so essentially a laptop screen, just sort of the clamshell, just sort of opens up out of the thing, and you will see a generic image of a speaker, and say, "Hello, Nomad. I go by the handle of Novapop. No doubt you're here to seize the police cyberware and all that business. I'll just get the easy part out of the way. That is a bullshit story that I concocted in order to have a conversation with you. I'll just ask you to stay calm, and we'll just have a little chat, okay?"
Okay, as soon as he started to speak, he would draw his pistol, aim at the laptop.
Okay, hold up.
That might actually be a healthy
It's also
response.
it's also worth pointing out that the entire area is rigged to blow, so by remote. So why don't you just calm yourself down?
What if
the
I
gun
tell
away.
you that I can blow up on remote?
All right. Novapop,
Okay,
it occurs to you at this point you might not be dealing with the best and brightest.
Okay.
You gotta mute him.
So that doesn't make a lot of sense. So I'm just gonna go on with what I have to say.
Smash cut
So
to
you-
a 40 millimeter lobbed into the container and everything blows up.
I'm blowing up my ride too. Fuck you, K9. You're dying too.
Here's the deal.
So what the fuck do you want from me? Do you think I'm some stupid moron?
No, you're clearly quite right. But listen, the point is, me and a few associates need some extra people for a job, and we think your solo friend outside are the men for it. There's something very dangerous going on in the city, and we have a way to stop it. And it goes way beyond whatever way beyond whatever happy horse shit you were doing out in the desert with that Jagoff Corpo, the son. I don't care about any of that crap.
Yeah, why should I care about what happens to this city? Why should I care about your stuff?
Well, it's everybody's stuff. This
It's not
and
my
now
stuff. If it's about the city. I'm no part of this city.
Just play the clip of the corpo, the cop getting roasted. That'll get him on the city side.
I'm going to show up an image that basically just summarizes a little bit of what we had talked about with this unauthorized hardware that's going into all the that's being brought into pretty much every corporation. He's going to say, and he's going to summarize just to not do another lore dump. He's going to just go over that again with what he was told.
Okay. So
Have some visual aids.
consider yourself informed that there is some sort of new mysterious software that is being placed into new equipment that's being given to all the various different corporations. Now, I know that your understanding of what all that is very low, K9.
Yeah.
But what you will be able to garner is corporations are getting something new. Might be a new toy, might be something dangerous. Who knows? But
Never good.
last time corporations got a bunch of stuff and a whole bunch of shady shit was going on, and nuke went off.
It's also worth pointing out that some of this hardware may end up in those vehicles you guys like to drive around so much. And I don't think you want any more corporate control out there than you already got, right?
Now you've got a fucking point. So you're telling me corporations just got a lot more powerful, right?
Well, hard to say, but we know that somebody's making a play for something big, and something big that is likely to influence everything, and almost certainly not for the better for any of us.
Shit. Nah, fuck. Okay.
Why don't you go get your solo friend, and we'll have a chat together.
Okay. I get him. Just wait here.
I'll wait.
He rips the laptop
You're
out
like-
of the guy's
he's
rib cage
like-
and carries it out.
Points to a laptop. You sit right there.
Meanwhile, Nova Papa just leans back in his chair like, okay, yeah, I won't move a muscle.
I
As he
fucking
sips his
love
coffee.
it.
God, he's accurate for a no man.
Okay,
Oh,
so
love
I
it.
go to the door, stick my head out, look to my car, just wave at Dragon and wave him to the container.
I get out from wherever the fuck I was overlooking the area, which would be, I don't know, it's a cargo container alley of fucking just cargo containers, right?
Yes.
I would have been overlooking in like between some cargo containers, looking left, looking right, looking at the container that K9's in, and notice him and walk on over.
Okay, first of all, this whole thing could blow up, so don't do stupid shit. There's some maniac that wants to talk to us.
You pulled a pistol on a laptop and you're calling the guy on the laptop monitor a maniac.
So you want to come in, or you're out of this?
I mean, I, as he sticks his head out, I just silently walk into the container, basically.
Okay.
So yeah, Dragon, you see the mannequin on the table with a laptop kind of like on its chest. Essentially there is the screen is basically like a sound wave that's constantly like moving, monitoring the sort of like voice that is being spoken from behind the monitor, with the sort of the tagline of Nova Pop up top.
I don't look at the laptop. I have my eyes out the container, kind of looking outside. But
Nobody's out there. Just come on in, man. And I'll repeat basically what I said to K9. Say, look, here's the deal. Once again, don't care about what you did or what you done. Personally, I thought that shit was hilarious. But we have a bigger problem now. It's an opportunity to do some good if that interests you, or make some money if that interests you. Also, working together, we can clear up your little problem with the police being wanted. Maybe I get you a nice clean slate.
Now you have my attention. Why couldn't you start with that information?
Well, I was hoping to have you both in here. So, yes, no, maybe. I mean, the alternative is you continue to be fugitives.
first of all, who's the kid?
What?
The dipshit.
The person who's dead.
Oh, I don't know anything about that.
And you're offering.
I think you're aware that it's a Mitsubishi exec's son.
A Mitsubishi. It's all over the news. Mitsubishi exec's son. With a bunch of high-end cyberware. You know as much as I do about that.
Yeah, I know the fucking cyberware, but I don't know who he was.
Oh, but I guess you have been hanging out in the wasteland. Yeah, high-level Mitsubishi exec son goes out into the desert, acts the fool for social media, and looks like he fucked around and found out. Am I right?
I was just gonna say the same thing.
Okay,
yeah,
fair enough.
Around and he found out.
Okay, fair enough. Like I said, I'm not here on his behalf. I don't really care about him. But you would like this business smoothed over, right? We can help with that.
Might as well. I would imagine the exec wouldn't be too happy about the stupidity of his son.
No, they're very
going
proud.
Unpunished.
Yeah, they're a proud folk. They're going to want some payback for that. But so essentially, everybody here has their own baggage coming on. I think that's a kind of a normal thing nowadays. But we'll all get through it together. Nonetheless, we all have a way to help each other. Why don't you? I'm going to send you.
What do you need from us exactly?
We're going to form a team to break into some of the data stores to find out exactly what's going on with this new hardware that all these corporations are suddenly find themselves with. That's going to require a team effort. I, as you might have figured out, will be the Netrunner tech. You'll be the muscle. You'll be the driver. And I have a few other people coming on board too. I figure we'll all have a good sit down together.
So, you said you for brevity's sake, you just told the job to both of us at this point.
Correct.
Okay.
gave full context.
So, in fact, I understand that I've deceived you, and that has put me at a bit of a disadvantage with you. I understand if that's set you off. Allow me to try to rectify that right now. I'm going to extend a little bit of trust to you. This is my actual location. You can come here discreetly and have a talk, or maybe you can rocket launcher my ass into fucking oblivion. It's your choice. But the second will not get you very far as your profile in the city. Fair enough?
Okay, look. If it's true what you're saying, then I think we should do something. And if you keep harm of my family by settling this, let's say, unfortunate accident with that young fellow, then I'm gladly willing to help you. But if you screw me over, I might as well rocket launch your fucking ass. Be sure to keep that in mind, dude.
I'm just
Okay,
imagining.
fair enough. Also keep in mind that I've downloaded enough information on a feature that I can spread to every cop and merc in the city. So, mutually assured destruction, I think they call that.
I already told you I don't care what happens in this city. If I'm wanted here, I don't go here anymore. That's it.
You don't think the SWAT teams can come out to your tribes out there, like that's never happened before? That you have as much interest. Even our wanderer in the wastelands over there understands the value of getting this problem to go away. But in any case, we're saying the same thing over and over again. The details are on the screen right now. This is my home. You can come and find me. I am at a reasonably discreet location on the outskirts of the city. Come on by when you're ready. I'll be here.
Should we bring your laptop
Nah, this is just a dumb terminal.
and the body?
This is
the
just a
body
dumb
too,
terminal. It's
or-
just a crappy plastic mannequin on a dumb terminal.
Okay.
Feel free to feel free to blow it up.
Oh, I was planning on it anyway.
I figured as much. No pop out. And the screen will power down.
I just shoot the laptop. I'm frustrated.
I told him to sit right there.
I'm shooting the goddamn laptop. You are now down a laptop.
I don't like this at all. But what do you think?
I think it's a bunch of bullshit anyway.
Seems like we're in this together for now. Or what?
Got nowhere else to be.
Yeah, I do, but I don't. It seems like I don't have another option, so let's just fuck this shit up, right?
Oh, it was my mistake. I'm bringing that body in, trying to bring that body into town in the first place. So I owe you that one.
Yeah, that was dumb, but I could have said something too, so it's dumb from me, it's dumb from you. We're all dumb. Let's just blow something up.
Agreed.
All right. Well, you two hop in K9's car to, I believe, go and meet with Novapop.
I imagine K9 has an extra gas can of Chew 2. I kind of like just douse the fucking container and just light it on fire as we leave.
That shit's expensive, dude.
I mean,
Enough
I
to
have
burn the
incendiary
fucking laptop.
Just
Yeah,
to
so are grenades.
I throw incendiary grenade in there.
There you go, then.
PD, here it comes.
Goodness gracious. Okay, so yeah, the cargo container will be burning down. I suppose.
Things happened.
While they're lighting on fire, I'm gonna just call Nova and let him know that I got Santos on board.
Okay, bring him by my place. We got our other friends on the way too.
I'll send them the details.
Okay. So, Santos, you get sent some information in regards to where the whole of the group that you have agreed to work with will be meeting.
He will go there without like any issues.
Okay. So, it looks like everybody will be converging on Nova Pop's location. And as two vehicles, riders and canines, make their way to the front of Nova Pop's small cargo container, Santos, you will see, stepping out of one of the cars, one of the vehicles, is Canine, or, well, the Mohawked man, and
Man,
Dragon, the fellas that you were chasing the day before.
I DM'd you what my street clothes would be.
Yep. Oh, so you're in your street clothes right now. Okay, good.
Probably.
Okay, so actually what you will see then is... we'll make this. Boom, and then... Sheet, no. Add page. Plainclothes. Create. Image source. Insert. Save. Boom. There you go.
He's
the beard. The beard.
He got a big beard.
Jesus.
Oh, it's Keith
It was,
Jardine's younger brother.
Hey, it was AI generated.
Nice.
Ah, ah, ah.
I can kind of tell
like a
because the
werewolf.
background makes no sense at all. It looks like a fucking
Yeah, no
like
shit.
weird
AI
painting.
generation also is really bad at doing hands, and it looks like you have some sort of gorilla arm
Yeah,
that's tapering
Yeah,
into
I
human hand.
see that.
Yeah.
I see that.
Yeah.
Nothing I can do about that. I'm not commissioning a fucking
It's all good. You're fine. It's unique.
Good.
I'll say that.
I mean, it's not bad.
It's
not fucking bad.
unique. It's unique. Yeah.
It did what I wanted. It's good enough.
It's
Where-
good enough. Exactly.
What is
yeah, it's
what is
good
the name?
enough.
What is the name of the guy who made that painting of all the stairs going in various different fucking directions?
Oh, I know what you're talking
Haven't
about.
seen
There's
Escher?
a lot of fucking little.
Escher?
Escher.
Escher?
Yeah, MC Escher. Yeah, the background looks like an MC Escher painting. Yeah, it's it's just all over the place.
It's the face, my god.
The face is like disproportionate to for the
He's
body.
he's got some big old ears too. I like it.
Like he has
Whatever.
no neck, he has no jaw or neck. It's just a beard that's attached to
The
his t-shirt.
the beard,
yeah.
the
Big
beard
fucking
is
beard.
his neck,
Yeah.
alright? I mean, Dwarven beard
He also
spores,
doesn't have
it's
a
a
mouth.
thing.
It's like
I like it.
Okay, no, yeah, we'll
At the
we'll
very
make it work.
At the very least, though, K9, you and Dragon might recognize the cop that was chasing you guys before, especially Dragon, since you like literally like went out, saw him chasing you, and flipped him off directly.
Yeah, I would have thought it. Depending on distance, I would have got.
No, I wouldn't have seen it. He would have
easy
been.
to spot because it's a fuckboy.
Well, he would have been high in the air because he's avoiding fire. It would have been like a way high in the air. That was so you wouldn't see what he looked like.
No, you
Because
probably
you knew there was gunfire.
You probably didn't see
I was
Nova
talking
Pop
about
personally, but
Santana.
Santos, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Santos, yeah.
Okay, then yeah, you'd probably recognize Santos. Well, everyone recognizes Santos.
Yeah,
He's
everyone
internet
knows who
famous.
Santos
Yeah,
is.
everyone
right?
knows that.
Yeah, he's-
Who I was referring to.
He's internet famous. So, okay, yeah, awesome. Okay, so the gang all comes in. There'll be a bunch of crappy little chairs sort of lined up against a makeshift coffee table.
Yeah, it is a bit of a cramped space for all these people. It is just a cargo container. It is not meant to have terribly many people inside for very long. But everything is organized in such a fashion that at the very least you all can fit inside. Go ahead and describe, like, what exactly does your sort of interior look like, Nova?
So against the one short wall at the end opposite the door you'll find his terminals. You'll find a very simple metal industrial desk with a ton of monitors that are propped up that are pinned to the wall and facing him in a workstation. And his workstation. On the desk you'll just find his coffee cup and his keyboard. And that's about it. The rest of the place has very utilitarian. There's a bed against the other far end of the other wall, and along the sides there are some chairs that looks like they've just been gathered from a junk pile fairly recently. Looks like he's not used to having this many guests, or any really. You'll see a trail, but it'll be nice and even still. It'll be neat and clean. There'll be a trail of a line of LED lights lighting across the top to throw a nice little bit of comfortable ambient lighting that he will adjust as everyone comes on in. All right, everybody. Looks like the gang's all here.
Yep.
It seems to be.
They give you any trouble? Don will ask Nova while looking to him with his arms crossed.
Nope, they just showed up.
Good. Santos is pretty easy to convince as well.
Okay, good to meet you, Officer Santos.
You are now down one laptop thanks to K9, but
Well, it was a dumb. Okay, I was putting that for
Yeah.
flavor. I figured that was a scavenged dumb terminal, just the monitor. It wasn't the whole processing laptop, just something to beam into.
fair enough.
Who was saying, nice to meet you.
Okay.
Ah.
So we've assembled our team. We know the mission. Now we just decide what to do next.
Actually go over the plans, tell them what they've signed up for in more thorough detail.
That's the
Yes,
idea.
We'll review again. Lore dump number 3. And,
We will go over the planning phase of this particular job that you guys have in mind. Everybody, I will say at this point, are now fully understood and fully up on the notion that new equipment is being delivered to all the various different corporations that are based in the plaza. In this equipment appears to be some sort of foreign software which is capable of asking very esoteric questions that we don't currently understand the purpose of. There is a theory that Novapop has put forward that this is a supply chain attack. So some corporation may be making a power play by infecting all of this hardware with something which can keep track of basically the entirety of the operations of the people who are using the hardware. That is a current running theory, but it needs confirmation in order to be able to actually figure that out. So the goal that all of you understand is to get into one of these corporations that is utilizing this new tech, get Novapop in so that he can find this software in as stealthy a fashion as you can, and then find the software, either download it, make a copy, do whatever he needs to do in order to be able to extract it and be able to analyze it on his own time, and then get him out of there. And if things end up going bad, that is the reason why you have a solo who might be able to help cover you guys, as well as a getaway driver that might be able to get you guys to safety just in case something happens. And you are aware that Santos's job here is to try and minimize any sort of police interference which may end up coming there in the first place, as well as act as backup to your solo should a firefight with local security end up happening. So this is the information you're aware of, and now you need to come up with a plan to actually execute the goal that you're looking for. And we will go over that next time, because right now we are coming across that sort of end period, and I would like to do affirmations before we go ahead and sign off. So starting at the top to the bottom here, I will be looking at heresy. Do you have a moment today that particularly sticks out in your mind?
I think the diner bit and with the sympathy from the other cops with Santos kind of stuck out.
A little bit of camaraderie here and there. Santos is not hated by literally everyone.
You got dunked on by roasting Ronnie too. It's like an initiation around here.
Oh yeah, we all get dunked on by the roast master. Homie, what about you?
I enjoyed interacting with Santos and Nova, and that it was also pretty hilarious just seeing Canine go stay right there before walking away from a laptop. It's like, well, I guess I'll just stay right here. It's just fucking perfect, all of it. Everyone's just perfect. I hate to imagine Santos's half second of face when I wasn't able to see him when he heard the words, "Hey, it's the professional roast victim."
Just stay right there. I mean, easily done. I wasn't planning on going anywhere, but
they still.
I got some pizza being delivered here soon, but outside of that, I'll be all right.
They still shot the laptop. It's like, fuck you anyway. And your mannequin.
I asked if he needs it.
Santana, anything for you?
Obviously the talk with the other police officer, that was amazing, pretty good. If I had to say, from the other people, the laptop scene, like I was just listening on it, but it was pretty hilarious.
I do love a Luddite looking at a laptop and pulling a gun on it. Like that's gonna do anything, right? Like
just a laptop appears. Show me your hands.
Yeah.
Don't be displaying information on me. I'll fucking blow you away.
Thorium, anything for you?
Santana steals the show every time, it seems. I think he's that guy. He's gonna be the guy to.
There's a reason people make YouTube videos on him.
He's already on 2 of them. You
Yeah.
have them both saved. It's to the point that now you have a folder dedicated to Santana.
Santos is quickly becoming the rocker boy of the group without actually wanting to be one.
I feel sorry for him. Hey,
He's
can you get that
multi-classing
video
into rocker boy.
Yeah.
Can you get that video deleted?
If by deleted you mean saved for personal purposes. Sure.
Yes, that was his payment he wanted off the internet. It's like, no. Everyone in the car was like, no.
Yeah, I love in this futuristic world of cyber wonders. Hey, do you think I can get that embarrassing video deleted? What? That's ridiculous. There's no technology that can make such a thing.
Because it's all been saved.
I mean, if you find where it's been downloaded to the thousands of different people who may have downloaded it at this point, maybe, but
Ryder's reaction and Dawn's just be like, Dawn looking like he's having a miniature existential crisis trying to process it, and Ryder's just clearing his throat in panic.
I always.
Yeah, but everybody was good. Everybody was very good. I like it's just good shit all around. I like this game.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far.
Yeah.
And finally,
we're out of the.
I would like to go over to Young.
Yeah, first of all, I really enjoy this campaign. It's great. There was so much. So I give it to you, Landy. The rapper was amazing. That was just hilarious, great. It was perfect.
I hope we run into him
all
again.
those points, really.
All entirely off the top of my head.
I
We
was
would have never
expected-
guessed.
I was half expected Santos to panic rap back.
Yeah.
I thought that's what he was going to do.
But no,
first
he
thing
didn't
I
try
had,
it.
the first thing I had in my mind with it's like, you know, those videos of cops being cool out in the wild.
Yeah.
I figured he'd be like that, like playing
God.
playing basketball and
Yeah.
blowing up in the fucking locals or whatever.
God. But he somehow,
I connect with the community.
he somehow took it down a notch. But told the file a report. Going into a rap battle fitted better. And I'm just imagining the police sergeant seeing this and just hitting his head on the desk.
Oh boy.
Okay, your next patrol is the combat zone.
Yeah, I don't know what my boss is gonna think after that.
Yeah, okay, your next patrol is the combat zone. Maybe you can befriend the locals by rapping out there. I hear they like that sort of stuff. Yo, yo, yo.
I'm doing my best.
The poor man just
Poor
keeps walking
Santos.
into cameras.
And you can bet that the cop compilation fail 256 is definitely going to be making its way into the other game as well. For sure. But yeah, that has been today's game of Cyberpunk. I appreciate everybody who came. Thanks you for Ashley for the follow and stopping by and saying hey and those sorts of things. Much appreciated. If you are interested in keeping track of these various different games, I have a D&D game that I play on Wednesday evenings. That is Astral Wars. That is at 7 p.m. EST at the current moment. I have this game, which starts at 2 p.m. EST on Mondays. That is Cyberpunk Team 2.
After War starring most of us.
Indeed, most of the players here are also in the Astral Wars game, taking out Santana and putting in fucking. I keep calling him Kazumov. Wadamafu.
I keep doing that with a Agma.
Yeah.
Hey, Santana, want to just join Astro Wars?
I asked Wadamafu if he did. He said his dog would kill him if he did.
Fair enough.
For the audience.
And on Sundays, I have at 4 p.m. EST, Team 1 for Cyberpunk. I have an unstreamed game that I do every other week on the afternoons there, so you can't really keep track of that one. And then I also have The Need for Fear that I now do on Saturday afternoons at 2 p.m. EST as well. So those are all the various different games. That is also a D&D game, the last one I just mentioned, Need for Fear. And if you want to keep track of any of them, feel free to tune into any of those. During the week, when I don't have one of my games, I usually end up doing video game streams, so you can hang out with me for those as well. Stay safe, don't die. Remember, the world's a better place with you.